All right, guys, and we're back here in Jönköping, Sweden for DreamHack 2011, the Season 1 Championship underway. I am Rivington III.
And I am Sinon the Stoic.
And together we are Zinington.
The casting Yeti.
Yes, as said by the forums.
Yes, they've decided
Daniel and his Yetiness. And then I can sit on your back and throw snowballs at people.
Absolutely, yes. So we came back a little bit early from this. Well, what do we have for the viewers here in Elmia and for all the many viewers at home? We have the Din Brothers grudge match coming up right now. TSM versus Epik Gaming. Wow, this is gonna be painful. I think the mother is here, isn't she?
I believe so.
It's not gonna be great for her to watch this because one of her sons is gonna get eliminated. Well, he's not gonna get eliminated. He's gonna make 4th place, and 4th place translates into $7,000 prize money for the team.
Not bad.
Do you want to tell the audience though what you get for 1st place?
First place is going to be a cool $50,000. That's kind of better split up between $5,000 than $7,000.
I'm not very good at math, not as good as Freak, but I believe 50,000 is more than 7,000. So you would.
I don't know. 5 is lower than 7.
And there's more zeros, but 0 is nothing, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how it works. I'll have to ask a smart person after this cast. But yeah. Speaking of asking things, I'm going to post a Ask Gragas a question thread.
Yes.
And if you have a question for Gragas himself, there is a chance, a slight chance that we may get an answer for you on that. All right, so let's see where we're at here with the game. If people are in the game already, if
Indeed.
getting ready for this. I'm gonna be impersonating Freak because I'm too lazy to change my accounts right now. Join game. There's a game go. I think that's not our game.
Right. And as well, I'd like to give a huge shout out to PaySafeCard for the HD stream.
Yeah.
You're viewing at home. If you are here at DreamHack, you're viewing that by the naked eye, and it's just about as good as what everybody's seeing at home on the HD stream, thanks to PaySafe. SteelSeries throwing out some mouse pads for the competitors to be using, and making sure all their surfaces and peripherals are working very nicely, as well as Alienware for providing the computers as well, and making sure there's a top-notch competition play we have going on here. And today, you know, everything's going really smoothly. We have some great matches going on, some great head-to-heads. We saw that AAA kind of faltered in their first game, was able to come back nicely in the second game, though, and just back and forth to the Nexus, taking inhibitors down, and it was just, you know, in favor of Fnatic. Such strong play, you know, and it was great because, you know, they came out with Gragas the one time. They banned Shushe's Alistar, and then Shushe was actually double banned, countered by an Alistar and a Gragas, and we haven't seen that for one person. 2 bans were wasted. I wouldn't say wasted.
Well, not wasted.
Actually.
They used.
Yes.
They used well as well. But you know, if we'd asked the teams to kind of fake it and make it an exciting match for us, I don't believe we could have gotten a more exciting match than this. It's just, it's mind-blowing, absolutely. And I'm going to give a quick shout-out as well to Own3D for actually making the stream happen. And I spoke to them yesterday a little bit, and there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, bringing the stream to these unprecedented numbers. So absolute thanks for that. And a quick shout out as well to Team LiquidNet, who have an amazing League of Legends is the name of our game. Yes, League of Legends sub-forum, where there's a lot of very nice, knowledgeable people sitting around, and great work there, guys.
Yeah, it's very good. We actually hit 210,000 viewers yesterday. That's an immense number. Everybody here a part of that history and a part of breaking into a new history and setting a bar that will hopefully break again today as we go on to the grand finals.
Oh yeah. I heard there's grand finals on today. At some point, they're going to be on at midnight, pretty much. Well, it depends on how soon the Counter-Strike game ends. Before that, I'm not very good at Counter-Strike, but apparently it can go to either 3 or 2 maps.
Yes.
And
your overtime.
Overtimes. They have overtimes. Yes. So we're aiming for midnight, and it's going to be, if you are actually here at DreamHack, make your way to the Dream Arena around that time. Expect some queues, but do try to make it in there. It's an amazing place. I watched some StarCraft 2 shoutcasted by Day9 last year in the Dream Arena, and wow, that place is amazing. Just the atmosphere in there. So definitely make your way over there, and we're going to have a little winners ceremony after the game there as well. So don't miss that, because that is most probably not going to make it up on the stream.
Yeah, exactly, and we're also going to do the cast. The playing from here, the cast is going to the Dream Arena, as we said, and then the live awards will be back here. We're going to do those live on the stream as well, so that'll be really nice for everybody to see the congratulations and the prizes going to the players, and $50,000. Just love seeing those giant checks. And it's going to be $25,000 for second place, $10,000 for third. As we said, the $7,000 place that we are going to see who's playing for that right now.
So even though we're saying that one of the Din brothers are, you know, one of the Din brother teams, let's just call them by their names, TSM and EG. One of them is going to go home. They're not going to go home empty-handed. We're going to give them $7,000, and you know, you can buy yourself a nice set of shoes from that. But I just heard that we are ready to switch over to either the coin toss or the coin toss. I'm not entirely sure which one
to
of
the
it
tournament
is.
area.
And here we go. Yes, I don't think we're going to have audio. So let's see if it's going to be the shiny side. And he drops it. That's it. Disqualified.
Failed gank.
The ESL admin has been disqualified from the tournament. Okay, it's pointing in the direction of SoloMid. And there is a handshake, so very good there.
Oh, there it is right there. Let's get a round of applause for the Din brothers. We're going to have an amazing game going on here in just a few minutes. Team SoloMid versus Epik. You can see Dan Din pointing at his brother. He's like, I heard that. I heard what you said.
So SoloMid won the coin toss. That means they're going to have first ban and first pick in the first game. And as far as I remember, I'm better. I'm not entirely recovered. As far as I remember, the loser is going to get first ban, first pick in the second game.
Indeed. What do you think our bans and picks are going to be? The roster rundown as we see, you know, Reginald, Odd One, Chaos, Rainman, and Xpecial for your TSM team. Salsi, Dan Din, Westrice, Dyrus, who's been playing a very good game for his team, and Double Lift, and maybe we'll see some of that Blitzcrank pull. I know everybody wants to see a little bit more of that because it really turns a game around, and it's just so much fun to watch.
I'd give that man a big manly hug if he played another Blitzcrank. But let's put it this way: these are the bans and picks that would make me saddest. If we saw Akali and Blitzcrank banned against Epik, and if we saw the Rainman is probably just gonna do a tanky DPS with Jarvan again. That he was pretty good.
Yeah, it works out.
I think he plays a Singed too, doesn't he? So a Singed ban would definitely make me sad. And yep, we are all ready, and we're actually going into the picks and bans right now. So if we can switch over to that, please. That's the first ban. I'm sad. You guys can see that Akali has been banned already, and let me just make the background black there. So Akali banned against Westrice. So these two teams, TSM and Epik, they have been scrimming against each other remorselessly the last couple of weeks. Like, I don't know, 100 games a day? Would you say that's feasible? Probably not 100, but maybe 99. So they've been scrimming Vayne. Again, very good pick. We have not seen a European team ban a Vayne yet, but she is extremely dominant in America right now.
She really is. It's that chase down character that you want to be careful about. Once the fight is over, she's going to be the one to pick up the kills, and we do see Vladimir coming up as well.
It's interesting because I believe that TSM have the stronger Vladimir and Reginald. But, and there's a Cillian ban. That's definitely aimed at Reggie. They're like, we don't believe we can draw it out to a long game. We don't want to lose in the first 15 minutes to Reggie's amazing OP Cillian. So, yeah, that makes sense to me. If you can draw it out to a long game, as we saw yesterday in AAA versus TSM, that Cillian is just going to fall off in power, and you're not going to worry about him in a 50-minute game.
Right.
But, yeah, he can lose you the game the first 15 minutes. And there is a Taric ban. That's interesting. What do you think about that?
I think it's a really good ban, actually. You know, with the assist to the armor that Taric gives and the ability to CC the team and begin the initiation of a fight, if you will. It is a word. I believe it is.
It is a word.
And from so far away, as well as the happenings of how Dazzle works from distance, the closeness to the amount of time in the stun, you know, it just becomes such a useful CC to have, as well as that quick burst heal, and then again his ultimate, a Twisted Fate.
Also aimed at Reggie, I believe. Yeah, the thing with Taric is also, if you pick a Taric, you want an aggressive lane, and there is the Corki pick up for Chaos. I believe he's going to play it as well. That is a very nice pick. Westrice playing a very strong Corki as well.
Yeah, so they're going to counter a little bit there with that one. Dan Din saying yesterday that he was kind of felt they had a disadvantage, that his brother knows some of their strats, but then again, that's vice versa as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're going to have to see how that goes.
Nunu and Janna, so they're setting up for a conservative bottom lane, I believe.
Picking up Westrice picking that up for a switch around.
Oh,
a fiddle in the middle.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
He's running teleport.
No, he's trolling us. He's trolling us. We've been trolled before. Dyrus picked a Jax yesterday and then changed it the last day. My heart, like, because I want to see Jax. Well, there's a Jarvan
with the right support, Jax can be one of those turnaround game characters.
Reggie, stop trolling us.
So we do have Xpecial picking up Jarvan. That is going to be a solid pick for them, and he is going to be switching as well. You can see him running the support summoner spells. Annie for that huge burst AP, and as well as a little bit of sustained. You know, as she comes out with Incinerate, Disintegrate, she's still able to do a ton of damage after Tibbers just rolls your face through. Teddy bears are cute, but Tibbers is not the one you want to be hugging at that point in time. Double lifted Dyrus to make their picks here.
They're not cute when they're 9 feet tall and on fire and dropping on you from the sky.
Fire retardant teddy bears are not something you want to play with.
Oh, MF Janna. That actually turns it into a very aggressive bottom lane after all, because with that shield, the double up is going to do more damage on the first hit, and the second hit does damage based on the percentage of the first hit. Yes. So with the shield, the double up becomes a damage multiplier, amplifier at least. So that looks good. And oh, there is a Malzahar pick. Malzahar has been doing some magic this tournament. If you just manage to go in and ulti the right person at the right time and get him into a chain stun after that, because it's what, a 3-second suppression? 2 seconds, 3 seconds?
It's quite long, actually. If you think about it, like I said, League of Legends is a game of seconds, and that many seconds really amounts to a lot, because it feels like an hour when you're in the suppression.
Oh yeah, and if you can just keep the AD locked down, there we have Warwick, very nice. That's probably going to be the jungle for them. In Europe, you would see the exact opposite. In Europe, you'd see the Jarvan in the jungle, the Warwick in the lane, and there is the Alistar pickup. Unfortunately, not going to be an AP Alistar. I'd be happy. Would you be happy?
Yeah, I think, but you know, nobody can really follow in the shoes of Shushay at this point in time. We're pretty much making himself the MVP of the tournament so far. And we'll have to see if he can continue to do that with his team. However, it is a team game, so we got to give huge props to everybody that has been playing so far.
I wanted to say that earlier. It's very good that you pointed out. Shushay would be nothing without his team in his back.
Right.
If he didn't have the amazing, consistent AP backup from XP, if he wouldn't have that, the veteran AD in Lamia, the super support in Melisande, and the amazing jungle in Cyanide, he'd be a guy who suicides in and does nothing, you know?
Yep.
It's a team game. And his team knows him, so they say, okay, Shushay is going to switch on crazy mode, let's go and support him. And it just works out.
And we're going to have to see what Saucy goes for here. He does have the last pick. His team is discussing it. They have another 45 seconds left. And this is really the counter pick, that last pick they're going to be able to do, possibly countering or possibly helping the team composition that Epik has.
I smell something. If he doesn't pick tanky DPS now, Epik could be running a EU...
Wow,
really?
That is for Westerice right there.
Wow. Yeah, of course, Westerice doesn't have his AD yet. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. A dual AD, I don't think I've seen that since the Fnatic vs SK game in the EU qualifiers, and Fnatic lost with that. They were actually running exactly the setup.
Right.
Now that I think about it, that was exactly the setup that they ran. MF and Tristana, Malzahar, Nunu, and Janna.
It's quite a tanky team they have to cut down right now. They do have an Alistar, they do have an X Special.
Yes, and the thing is that with Nunu and Janna, you keep your dual AD safe, right? You can push the enemy away, or you can, and this is important for all you 1400s out there, Nunu in high-level play, the damage from his ultimate, it looks great on stream. The damage, irrelevant. No one in high elo cares about that, absolute zero damage. What Nunu does is huge area AoE slow, meaning that people who want to jump on your ADs, unless they have a jump ability, will not get there in time, and it keeps them safe. So Nunus go in early in the fight, use their ultimate, and it's really not going to make that much difference damage-wise, but it's going to allow the ADs to play unsafe, in quotes, and just do that damage. And Janna, same thing, if they get close to the ADs, bam, Janna blows them away. And if just one person, like, I don't know, Warwick or so, jumps on the AD, well, Malzahar's going to lock him down and just say, thanks for that kill, I'll take it.
We're going to have to see how Janna really plays out within the team fights. You know, everybody's going to kind of have to gather together to get that assistance from Janna. It is quite big. She has a great range on it. But X Special is the only one that's going to be able to heal his team, really. So maybe be seeing some, Warwick's going to be able to do that for himself. And they could be taking a lot of initial damage in the beginning. You're going to have Tristana blowing up with some crits here and there. Absolute zero if procced in the bush is going to do really good for him. And that's really where they'll want to focus on it, because they have Jarvan that can come in there, pop Nunu out of his ultimate, the pulverize, as well as Reginald on his pyroclasms. He can use that stun to take somebody down, and not take somebody down, but stun as well as take somebody down, I guess. The suppression from Warwick, and Corki can just kind of run around and get out of that. It's absolute zero quite easily. So
exactly.
There's a lot of things to interrupt that absolute zero on TSM side.
So people in the forums have been giving me a hard time for being biased. I'm going to be biased in this game. I want Epik to win. I'm just throwing it out there. I want them to win. I really want to see a Fnatic versus Epik finals.
Yes, that would be an amazing matchup. We saw so many grudge match between them yesterday, just head to head, down to the last second.
The second game, best game of League of Legends I've watched in my entire life, and I've watched hundreds of them. That was just beyond incredible. We're loading into the game now slowly. We're almost ready to launch into the game proper. Are you going to back TSM?
I don't know. I don't think I'm going to back anybody. I think we have a huge matchup here. You know, some brotherly love going on. The Dins about to face off against each other, a match that everybody has wanted to see. The Dins probably not so much, and we're going to have to really see how they take that into consideration, knowing each other's strategies, knowing the first invasions, the amount of timing that they have as they go towards Dragon or Baron, and we've always said Reginald with that sixth sense on when they can do Baron and when is the perfect time to do that. And we saw TSM actually understanding another thing about timing in the base race the other day, as they were the first ones to make the step away and the push towards the base. Another amazing match, and you'll see that in the highlight reel as it comes through to play as well. And we're going to get this Zenington down as the casting Yeti. Here we go. As I mount onto your shoulders and get ready for this matchup, we are going to get these guys live in just a few seconds as they load into the game. And we'll see what they have to provide for us.
This is going to be amazing. I really have been waiting for this game for a long time. I wanted to see the Din brothers facing off, and here we have them right now. We are going into this game. It's going to be Epik Gaming versus Team SoloMid. Let's hear it for both teams.
All right, let's see what they do right off the bat here. It looks like they will start to go towards top and set up. So they think they're going to take top golems, and they're going to try to thwart that instance here. And it looks like TSM does not have that idea. They're going to go towards the bottom, and they're actually going to do a regular blue invasion here as they head towards the Wraiths, probably, or the Wolves rather. Probably a quick steal on blue or something as that sort. But as they move through, power and numbers right now for both teams, we can see Epik going for that click onto their blue, and they may start to move towards that area, going down. Oh, so wait, TSM may stay in this position and try to catch somebody as they go to lane. They haven't seen anybody in the bottom. They know that the blue is not being covered, so they'll definitely take that. And they may have, they are going to, there's so many things that can happen right now, but it's in their head what they want to do. We can't really read that at this point in time, but staying in that spot, they could definitely grab somebody who's transferring to their lane.
The amazing thing here is that there's so much metagame going on that we don't know about yet, because these teams have been scrimming so many times. There may have been hundreds of games that started with invasions like this, and they're playing against different mindsets, and there we see the perfect clairvoyance. So now TSM know exactly where Epik are, and they have no idea where TSM are. So that is an advantage for TSM right there. Warwick going to pick up that blue, going to say thank you for that, and start a dual golems, which is going to be a very, very quick route there. And Tristana is going to go top. That's interesting. Now very, very safe. Transitions back to bottom lane. Double lift, it's probably going to be safe as well. And Rainman actually porting home from the enemy jungle. Interesting. The odd one actually takes down all the lizards around Golem. That means it's going to respawn quicker, but you know, it's a bit more experience in gold for him.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely what he was looking for. He wanted that full, actually not getting the full level. His team was there to help him out, so he's probably going to be able to go for one of the smaller minions around his blue golem as he goes to get that buff, and it'll really help him out, getting the level 2 soon as he's going for his own blue, and he may even dodge that one as he already has one, and it looks like he's going actually, not Jarvan, rather, I'm sorry, Warwick down bottom has the blue. And we have Dyrus and Double Lift as Misfortune and Janet down bottom, the carry and the support, as well as Chaos and Xpecial as Alistar and Corki. And we're going to see Xpecial leaving his lane a little bit in a few levels once he gets his Pulverize and Headbutt, so he can make his way around and do the roaming Alistar.
Absolutely. And we see, top lane, we see the Rainman versus Vesprise. Rainman taking one of those damage over time shots there from Tristana. He's going to be fine, though. He's going to have to wait for that to run out before he throws in a potion, because otherwise the potion is obviously not going to do much damage. And like I said, Warwick starting at dual golems, then doing raids. That means this is going to be an extremely fast route to level 3. And Reginald landing a stun there for the combo on Salsi. So far the lane's been going to Salsi with 15 to 9 creep kills. And we see a little bit of aggression here. Xpecial going in for the Pulverize. Dyrus taking a lot of damage, and they must be happy about that right now, Team SoloMid, because that Janna can shield, but she cannot heal. And the only way that Misfortune has of getting health back is the 3 potions. Well, 3 potions is enough. She needs to start taking them, though. She's extremely far back right now. She's probably afraid of a Warwick coming in. Oh, no. Xpecial has actually... there's actually a restart going on.
There was not first blood, and we have not reached 5 minutes, so we are going to get a restart on the game. That does fall within the rules of this one, and we are going to go ahead and get that restarted. If it does not have a first blood yet, or within 5 minutes, it is a justifiable restart, and that is what we are going to have right here.
Okay, so yeah, it's obviously not ideal to have a restart, but I heard there was a crash, and in this case we could absolutely restart.
Yes, Dyrus was still able to do what he could, but was freezing a little bit back and forth, so, you know, that's not really gameplay you want to be able to go into the game with. These computers been on a long time today. We're really stressing them out. A huge amount of gameplay coming out of League of Legends, and very long games that we're seeing right now. A lot of the games were shorter before. They were able to get out, the PCs cool down, but we're going to see and get the problem fixed up, prop them up, and get that airflow going through them. So we're going to get this game recreated. We're going to join in here and see what we have. We're going to go with same picks and bans as usual. The players know that very well by now. They're just going to go ahead, go down the list, and we're going to get this game going live again in a few more minutes.
So we did, of course, QA these PCs before we used them. I mean, obviously we checked them, but you cannot check for everything.
Checks, updated drivers.
Things always happen, yes. Things always happen like that.
Certificates, everything, back and forth. But hardware is hardware.
Yeah, absolutely, and hardware hates you. That is a known fact in computer science. Hardware hates you. It wants to do damage to you. It wants to hurt you as much as possible, and basically, yeah, computers are sentient already, and they don't like us very much.
Yes, indeed. So we're going to get everybody back into the matchup. If you have not checked out any of the VODs we have up, if you missed some matches before, make sure you go to that, the s1.leagueoflegends.com.
The most recommended match from yesterday, I would say definitely Fnatic versus, what was that last one? Fnatic versus Epik. Yes, the second game from that. Amazing, but possibly even more amazing. What was that? No, what was the very last game? No, the second game of that. That was the most amazing. Yes, but also not bad. The games that we casted, AAA versus TSM. I would say
amazing games.
The very first one, especially for the ending, but the second one, that turnaround fight at Baron, I haven't had the chance to watch the VOD, but I'm going to go through it and I'm going to be like, pause, what actually happened, because that was just too much for me. I was like, I don't know what's going on. How did AAA win this?
Standing next to you in the replays of the day on the highlights, you could just see Daniel's face.
Yeah. I was actually hurrying to get here. I was running a little late. I was like, oh god, I hope I didn't miss the highlight reel. And I believe there isn't a person out there who didn't see that Shushay flash into kill on Malta coming as a #1 pick for the highlight of the day. That was just, beyond epic. So yeah, we are restarting the PCs right now. It may take just a little while. We want to make sure, of course, that this doesn't happen again.
We're going to get them restarted. If you're a little bit new to League of Legends and you don't know much that's going on, there are definitely a lot of viewers on the stream. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in here for the Season 1 championship here at DreamHack in Jönköping. An amazing and beautiful Sweden. You know, I came out here, I actually had a sinus infection, and just a day here, I was absolutely cleared up, and I was like, wow, maybe every time I get sick, I'm going to come to Sweden. It's just so clean here, and it's so beautiful, and an amazing place to hold an event like this. So many people like mine that can come together and enjoy video games, enjoy the esports scene, and just have that kind of community and communication with each other, meeting so many new people. I've met so many people here today. Man. It's been absolutely amazing. So many fans of League of Legends, people making their own shirts, cups, mouse pads, everything. And that was actually one person we met outside. He walked right up to us and he's like, I love you guys. This is all the stuff I've made. And we were blown away. It's just such an awesome camaraderie from the entire community. And as I've said before, and I'll say it a million times, we would not be here if it wasn't for you guys.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much for being such loyal and awesome community members.
And this feeling of sitting here in the audience and having all these people next to you, just look to your left, look to your right. There are people who enjoy the same kind of stuff that you enjoy. When you sit at home, watch a stream, like, I don't know, I'm sitting alone here in my PC, this feels a little, I don't know. But you know what? There are literally hundreds of thousands of people out there who enjoy the same kind of stuff. And you know what? Over here you can walk up to anyone, you can go like, hey, what do you build on Warwick? And they're going to be like, attack speed all the way, and you're like, yay, stupid Warwick builds. Actually, a true fact, in Nunobot 2, I had 2.5 attack speed on Warwick, and I was still stacking AS, because that's how you do it.
You would.
I would.
I believe you. I definitely believe you.
So if we have the time, I'm not sure how long it's going to take to get restarted, we could cut over to the Telecaster tool if we're ready for that, and we can talk a little bit about the jungle invasions that we've been seeing here, because there's a lot of metagame going on with the jungle invasions. So what we saw in this game right now was Team TSM coming from up here and invading the enemy jungle like this.
Yep.
And then I believe they were going into these bushes, waiting in these bushes, which is a safe place. And I believe they waited for the clairvoyants to come up and then obviously go into Golem. And at that point, they put a clairvoyance, an aggressive clairvoyance down here and moved forward into these bushes. Because what you often see the enemy team do is this, obviously, this is where golem spawns, and you want to protect this for your jungler, right?
Yes,
so you're going to have your jungler wait somewhat like, you know, up here, somewhere like that. And you're going to have the rest of the team stand down here in these bushes and, you know, protect him. That's one possibility. Sometimes in solo rank you see people standing here as well. I don't like that. You want to have all 5 together. Strength in numbers, as you always say. So they actually clairvoyance back here, and that would have revealed like this kind of area. So they revealed the bushes over here, and that meant they knew there was nothing in the bushes. They could move in. Now at the same time, we saw that Team Epik did something completely different. Or was it Team SoloMid? Sorry, Team SoloMid did something completely different in that they actually went into the river. I believe they went like this. I'm not sure if they went through the main lane, and then go into the enemy forest like that. Take this bush again. Bushes are very, very important because there's always a chance that the enemy team will be waiting for you in the bushes, and then rotate it around from behind. So once again, if the enemy team was actually standing in these bushes, they would have been in a very good spot to initiate there. And in these Team 1 fights, level 1 fights, what you very often see, and this is a mistake that people have learned not to make anymore, is the defending team, they say, oh, we're ready for a level 1 fight, right? So we're all going to stand in here, in these bushes. And then the enemy team just comes out this way, and they have something like an Alistar. And they just clairvoyance it before you can go back, flash in, pulverize on this area. You have 3 people, 4 people knocked up, which is a stun that can't be cleansed, basically. And then after that, there comes the damage from the attacking team. So these invasions, always a power play, risky power play as well. Something that we saw in the European qualifiers, and I just want to talk about it because it was so brilliant, and at the same time it was such a facepalm moment. So SK invaded this way into these bushes, and then from the bushes here, and they all clumped up as closely as they could in this area right there. So they were all standing there, and if you can see, there's this one tree here just jutting out a little bit. So they were totally lost there, and they were playing against Fnatic, right? And Fnatic was setting up here as a super defensive setup, and they said, okay, clearly they're not coming, so we're going to rotate around. And Shushay on Anivia was rotating around, and he walks up this way with the entire Team SK standing here, and then he just steps up behind the tree, says, oh shit, turns around, and SK's just like, oh, we should have done something. And nothing happens. Nothing happens at all. And Shushay just, I don't know, just walked around here and was completely safe and went to his lane. It was like, holy shit, that could have been a really, really bad start of the game. Yeah. These invasions are really fun to watch. The European meta game, they're just fallen out of favor. What we often see is the Wraith steal at level 1, where something like an enemy Nunu will just walk up
quick
and
swipe,
eat.
quick eat.
Yeah, exactly. And that is important because as the jungler, you want to hit level 4 before you gank. So a jungler, a good jungle character, usually has 2 skills that help him in the jungle, and 1 skill that is super important for ganking. So what you do is you level the 2 jungle skills on the first level. So Warwick, my main still, you would either start on W or Q. There was a bit of a, you know, the Warwick camps are fighting each other there, which one's better. I believe W has been shown to be a little quicker, but Q is just safer, and, you know, I'm not a good player, so I play it safe. Generally, good advice, if you know you're not a good player, play it safe. So I start Q, then I do W after Golem, and another Q, and then I rely on getting level 4 from Golem, right? From in the other half of the jungle. And if I don't have my large Wraith, my big Wraith, I'm not going to get that level 4, and then I'm not going to have the Blood Scent, which means that if I go for a gank and get somebody low, there's no way we could chase them down and kill them. No. And that means I'm just not going to be a very powerful ganker. And that's why these smites are so powerful. It's the same with Mumu. Mumu will start the jungle always with Despair, then level Tantrum. Then on level 3, I'm not a good Nunu jungler. I believe leveling Tantrum again is the fastest way. And then
well,
on level 4...
it depends on really how your lanes are going. If you want to get that bandage toss and head out, you are going to have your buff. It's kind of going to slow you down if you don't go for it.
Right.
But it's really the normal.
Yeah, you don't want to have bandage toss before level 4 at any rate, because you're not going to gank level 3. It's not going to work on Nunu. So you have that Tantrum to go to a quick level 4. Yeah,
yes.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm talking about Mumu. Yes, absolutely. You're going to have that bandage toss at level 4. Okay. And that means you're gank ready. Before the bandage toss, you're not gank ready. You can come in and start crying a little bit, and they're going, okay, cool. cry, and I'm going to be completely fine with you crying. I'm just going to run away and laugh at you. So I'm sorry for having to fill time here a little bit. We just wanted to make really sure that there's not going to be any further problems, and we are ready for the game here. I just gave the go in chat, and second attempt. We're going to go real quick through the picks and bans again. I think we should still cut over to the picks and bans just so we see them again. For everybody who just tuned in, you didn't miss anything. We remade the first game of... oh, it's blind pick. Well, that works for me. That works for me as well. We remade the first game of EG versus TSM. You didn't miss anything. The Din Brothers grudge match, that is a difficult word to say for a non-native speaker, is about to start. Can we cut over to the game client, please?
And we'll have to see, most likely going with the same. They're going to go in here. The thing that might change up is going to be the jungle invasion, however.
Exactly.
You know, they had a pretty good job on TSM. They went for the blue. They were able to get it. And as you said, a very aggressive clairvoyance coming out of the hands of Epik. They used theirs to clairvoyance the blue they were going for, TSM's. And TSM was like, we're going to try and see if they're our blue right now. And that's a little brotherly love, I think, that was going on there.
They knew it.
As they were able to figure that one out and not have to use it for themselves.
Yeah.
And we're going to go ahead and get into the splash here as the players load into the game.
Still sad to see that Akali was banned. Blitzcrank wasn't banned, was he? But
he was not, but not chosen as well. The team composition most likely didn't call for it. They still needed the support, and Doublelift was, you know, more than happy to play that role for his team.
So I'm going to predict right now, if EG lose this, Doublelift is still going to hold Blitzcrank because he does not want to lose the chance of playing another Blitzcrank in this tournament. It was just too amazing. Those grabs yesterday, just like, I wished I could play Blitzcrank like that. There's so much prediction in there because there's this travel time, right? You shoot your hand, is it left hand? It's right hand. You shoot your hand and it flies, and it takes a while to get there. Anyway, we are now in the game. TSM versus Epik Gaming is the first game of a best of 3. Once again, the Din Brothers facing off. Let's hear it for those teams.
Back into this one, we'll see what has to happen here, and there may be a switch up in what they begin to do, and it does look like that's going to happen, and they will start to hang out in their bush. TSM just hanging out by wraiths this time. A lot of pings going down from both teams, and we're going to see how they adjust to this one. They are not going to go for an invasion themselves. They know that the jungle needs to be in favor of Epik this time. If they lost their blue last time, they weren't able to grab the other one, so they have to be very careful.
Absolutely, and TSM setting up, like I showed on the telecast, very, very aggressively. They have the Ani, they have the Pulverize. This could potentially be very painful, but Epik have made it out in time, and they have just given up their blue. That's a little bit of a strange move to me. Well, then again, yes, you don't want to team fight at level 1 against these people.
Okay, so they went back and forth and actually placing a vision ward down. The pink ward will be able to see other wards. Yep. The green wards are just going to give you vision in that area, about the range of a clairvoyance. But we're going to see, we see Salsi using his abilities on the fountain. You're able to proc the minion that he will be able to spawn, or pet, if you will. Malzahar can't spawn every 7 seconds. That'll grow in size and do a little bit more of everything, as it's his little assistant there. And it looks like we will be seeing just a mirror of what we had before. The buffs are going to be back and forth. They still have their CVs to use. There's one going down, and Doublelift sees it. The other one, I believe, has just fallen as well out of the hands of Doublelift, and that is Alistar, especially using his clairvoyance. And back and forth. They say, hey, thanks. You know, we're going to use yours, but we're still going to get the same advantage out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the pink ward here, just like I say, I like it a bit, but I would have liked it more if the support from bot lane would have gone back there to place a ward later on, because these wards are going to expire in 3 minutes, and the buff takes 5 minutes to spawn again. So if you place a ward that's going to be alive while the buff is up, you can have your Ani just teleport in on that Warwick from behind, or rather on that Nunu from behind, and just kill him and take his blue. That is just an amazing move, but you have that jungle control, I guess, now early game. And yeah, Jana and Misfortune setting up for the standard bottom lane.
The odd one going an extra step on that, and he did take the blue wolf from Wolf Camp there, so or the brown wolf, I should say, the bigger one. So they will not be able to have that. It's going to be a little bit of experience lost from Nunu. However, he can usually stay in the jungle longer than most, as he can just consume to get his health back. Doesn't really have to worry about using too many health pots, and we will see how they play that out. Again, Westrice up top. With Tristana, Rainman using Jarvan, and he is going to be up top in the 1v1 situation. Salsi and Reginald in mid. Reginald was being very aggressive last time, and we'll have to see if he can keep bringing that to Salsi. Salsi, knowing that he's going to be playing that way, you can see him staying a little farther back. But Reginald playing Annie, one of the longest right clicks in the game, will still be able to harass a little bit, but not as much damage. Dyrus and double lift down bottom as we had before. X special on Alistar and that Corki Westrice, or Chaox Westrice actually. And they are going to be pushing their lane quite hard.
And a Clairvoyance here in the river. They are a little bit afraid of a Nunu gank, but Nunu is, well, what is he doing? He started the red and then he changed his mind. Did they Clairvoyance Nunu? No, I believe I saw the Clairvoyance in the river. So I'm not entirely sure why Nunu is doing what he's doing, but I guess Dan Din is a better jungler than me. So he's using a lot of time on this red. Maybe this is a way of doing it that doesn't lose you too much health, possibly. Let's see how the CS are going. So for Annie at 16 versus Malzahar at 21, obviously Malzahar is going to win the early lane here against Annie. But if she lands the stun, yes, Reggie choosing not to play aggressive. He could have followed up with a E here with a cone attack and done some more damage to Salsi, but he's like, yeah, that's done, now it's just enough. Just, keep your distance. I can do damage to you.
And it looks like Westrice being very passive in his lane, not using any mana yet, but he is going to go back to get a little bit more damage, I believe. Chaox still pushing with that Corki. Looks like the mid or bottom lane is back to the mid farm right by the river. That's exactly not really where you want it is when you're 2v2. You kind of want it more towards your
especially
turret.
coming in for a gank on Salsi, but Salsi spots him just in time. That was good play there. They remembered that Malzahar is always going to push, right? As Malzahar, you cannot opt not to push. So that was a very, very good attempt by the Alistar. I'm not sure they're going to play him roaming Alistar the whole game. They're probably going to have him babysit that Corki bottom lane. Now he's going in for... Is Dyrus disconnecting here? Oh god, please don't say he's disconnecting. He's just standing there, not moving. That Jana is also just standing there. Oh, you have to be kidding me.
Wow, Dyrus' computer really not liking him whatsoever. And that is quite unfortunate. It just seems like that last laptop on his side is going to be switched out. We do have the admins coming in here to make sure everything is going to be fine. We're probably going to really get this one switched out. Just put an entire new computer up for that setup for Dyrus. And I'm actually glad this is happening quite early in the game. It's unfortunate that it is happening, and it hasn't happened throughout the day, an entire day, as we have said before. But now, just hardware just kind of punching in the face.
It hates you. It's
it hates you, as you said before.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and jump out of that.
Yeah. So the resetting right now, I'm not entirely sure how long it's going to take. I'm going to get an ETA for you as soon as I can. Obviously, it's a bad situation when you sit there and you just want the game to start. And some people here are getting bored as well. Not the ideal situation for us to have, but trust us, guys, once we actually go into this match is going to decide who is going to go on and represent North America. Who is going to fight for the honor of North America?
That is going to be very big, and a lot of people want to represent that as the last team. Many people thought it would be CLG, last year's WCG winner, able to come out on top and get that #1 spot and take it away from everyone else. So they're actually placing 5th this year, I believe, and that spot is going to be the $5,000 spot. A lot of people were wondering how much money they were going to be taking home, so they still go home with a good amount of money in their pocket.
And we gave game $2K as well. $2K, that didn't sound right.
$2K.
Yes, I
$2,000.
Yes. For the 6th place, 7th and 8th place, unfortunately don't get any prize money, but they did get a free trip to Sweden. That's pretty awesome.
Yes,
and they got to play in an awesome tournament and basically wow us all with their first game against TSM. That was just the first game of Sen versus TSM. No one saw that coming, and I believe Sen can pretty much take the VOD of that game home as a prize. They can, I mean, TSM is still in this. They can still make first place, and then Sen can say, well, we dominated the team that made first place in this tournament. Yeah,
that's going to feel really good. They're probably going to go home, continue to work on their play set. Pacific, as we said before, the other team from Southeast Asia, they came in with 2 players they had grabbed only 5 months ago, and coming into a tournament like this, you have teams like Fnatic, they've been together forever. Teams like CLG, known for their strong gameplay. Team SoloMid, known for their strong gameplay. And you know, the teams with the captain, CLG actually not really having a captain. We've talked about that before as well. And sometimes that's where their game falters. So you know, Pacific looking to only build and get better, and usually you learn the most from your losses. So they're really going to take that in consideration as a grain of salt and come back stronger next time. They were qualifying, and in their category, in their teams, the teams they had to play against, they actually swept it.
Yeah,
so we can tell that, you know, the global skill of League of Legends is definitely different at this point in time. These teams aren't really able to play against each other. Hopefully in the future we can connect some sort of space teleport portal wormhole that these guys can play with the 9 ping over a global interface. But as of right now, they're pretty much constricted to that area. So the strategies, the meta game, the entire game that you're going to see is a lot different, and they're not able to pull out the strategies that a lot of these teams have, or the counter picks to these teams. You're able to watch the team's games, you know, on a stream, but it's always going to be different when you get into the game, depending on what you bring to the table.
Absolutely. And there is still a big difference in European and North American meta. Let's not forget about that at all. I mean, the reason I believe why the game of Epik versus Fnatic went so close yesterday, the second game, was that Fnatic, when will they have had the chance to ever play against a top-level Blitzcrank before? They didn't. There is no top-level Blitzcrank in high elo. If you select Blitzcrank in Champion Select, there's going to be rage quits. A lot of rage quits.
I will take 20 elo for you.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, they had no idea what to expect. I mean, they're pros. They can adjust to it. They can, they know what skill shots are. They know how to dodge skill shots, but they have no prior experience with a skill shot that can turn an entire team fight around there with one single skill shot. That big robot grabs you and pulls you in, and that's it. I mean, you're dead. And if you're the carry or the AP or AD carry for that team, that's just, you know, that's going to be a team fight for you. And they are just not used to playing against that, and that's still a big factor. And I mean, AAA have been amazing me with their perfect play. And I don't want to just say I don't like AAA. AAA are a great team, but I'm still going to root for whoever wins this game, because I want to see a North American versus EU Grand Finals. And I believe we have some more information for the audience. Do we, Rivington?
Yes, we do, actually. They let us know the plugs in the backs of the laptops are these laptops are quite powerful, and they require quite powerful power supplies. So sometimes they tug, they move, and his laptop was unplugged. And then when he got into game, he went to plug it in. If you know a little bit about laptops and Windows 7 and whatnot, that it will change the scheme of what your colors you're using, and once in game, upping that color scheme and upping the way that Windows views itself is what was lagging him in the game. So obviously, you know, not even the hardware this time, but just those little here's and there's that can really nip you in the butt when it comes to it. So we found that and resolved the issue, and we're going to have this game going in right now. They are all into the game, and we're going to see how this one goes. We got the splash screen up, and the players loading into the game already as back in, and 110% to go.
I wonder if we're still going to get an applause from the audience after all of this waiting and all of this remaking. I mean, I'd understand it if they are tired, if their hands are hurting right now, but honestly, I already know what kind of amazing clutch game we're going to see here, and let's just take some motivation from the future. Let's do some time traveling here and get that motivation, and very, very soon we're going to be loaded into the game, and I'm going to ask you all to give us a third round of applause for these two teams. Please give it up for TSM versus Epik Gaming. Yes. You take it.
I bet you they're going to jungle invade.
How, you think?
No. So let's see what they do on this one, actually. Ping's going out again, and we can see him going for both bushes. They're like top, maybe bottom. You can see both of those pings going out on the map. One towards the tri-bush, as I like to call it, up top, and one towards that bush right above Dragon towards the purple side.
That is a smart ward right here. So this... Oh, look at that. And Epik see all of TSM moving through these brushes, and if they wanted to, they could decide to take this fight now, because Annie is still in base, but they didn't make that connection. That's unfortunate. That could have been a 4-0 right there, or 4-1 maybe, even against Alistair and against Oh, please don't tell me.
No, they're just going back. They want to get back to counter this one this time. And after knowing that they didn't see anything there, they're kind of playing a switch-up game on a little bit of a rotation here. They know that each time, third time's a charm, they have gone for the blue, so they're going to do that again. But this time they're going to rebuttal on it, and they're going to try to get themselves in that bush up top by where Baron is just a little before. We'll see what they can do.
This was our plan all along. We just faked those hardware issues just so we could have that meta game play out for you. This is basically they're scrimming in a fast-forward way. And wow, are they going to meet here? Oh god, I'm scared.
They're on either side of the wall of each other right now. Westrice, however, walking into the bush still. He's going to see them before they get into the bush. Westrice is so close. Andy with her stun up. Will she be able to get the stun off? The flash out. The great silence coming out of the hands of Salsi. And it will begin as a first level fight. But it looks like everybody is able to get out of there alive. A very nice job. And with Reginald being very aggressive here, he's saying, no, Dan, you are not going to go for these golems. He was able to pick up Dan's golem. Silence onto Reginald, taking a lot of damage from Salsi. And it looks like power and numbers, they still choose to back off. And a very nice aggressive first level fight coming from both teams there. A lot of flashes expended though. We have K-Ax is down, we have Rain Man's down, and Xpecials is down as well. As Salsi was really the only one with Westrice that had to use theirs.
Yes. And I just have to say, aggressive Reggie is aggressive. That is still true, that has not changed, and I really like that playstyle. He's just, it's great fun to watch. And that Anistan almost caught the one they were trying to catch, which was obviously Westrice. So just basically caught Salsi by the edge of it. But he was safe enough. I mean, he had to flash, okay, but he was so far away that he could flash to safety, and they couldn't flash after him. So close one.
Yeah, we definitely have to call attention to the huge four-man silence out of the hands of Salsi. In that tri-bush, he definitely shut down a lot of everything that could have happened. More flashes could have been expended, and it would have been a totally different team fight. They would have been able to catch Dan in the jungle a little faster off guard. He's now going for his blue. Looks like Warwick is able to move through the jungle. A very fast jungler. Doesn't really have to worry about his HP too much because he is able to get that first sword and do a lot more damage. A Clairvoyance going out there, or a Smite rather, on Nunu. I don't know why I said Clairvoyance, to tell you the truth. And they are pinging it from TSM side right now. SoloMid knows that he is there. The timing of what happened, they're saying he's probably finishing up, so we'll know it. And there it is, the Clairvoyance from Xpecial, able to see Nunu Dan walking through his jungle.
That was good timing, but it didn't really give them much of an advantage. It confirmed that he's not running a gimmicky, strange jungle route, but it also did confirm that he's not going to go aggressive on level 2, which is, or level 3 as the case may be, which is absolutely an option that Nunu has, and that sometimes people say he should do, but starts taking a lot of damage from Reginald. Reginald also taking damage to lane.
Wow.
Pretty much even still, both down to their last health potion already though. That is a lot of aggressive play from both sides here. And these players will have laned 1v1 mid 100 times against each other. Not just in all those scrims, but on all those solo ranked games. I'm sure these two have met each other so many times. Nunu coming top now, I'm not sure what he's hoping to achieve. The lane is really, really pushed. There's not much you can do, and he doesn't go for it. He wards. Star is very good of him.
And we're going to see, Rain Man using his mana up quite quickly down bottom. Westrice able to push that lane, but he's, however, is not going for the tax. He does not want to draw aggro from the minions and take any unnecessary damage for Rain Man to really activate on, or initiate on, I should say. And we see 3 going towards mid here. Will they get the flash on to this pulverize? No, he goes for the headbutt first. The pulverize up. The stun coming from Annie as well. There it is, the disintegrate. Will they be able to do the damage? Dan trying to take a little bit of the brunt, and he will. A very nice job by Dan acting as a shield there, and taking the kill. Skills that would have come. Tristana coming down bottom now. Dan turns it around. Can the odd one be caught off guard? He does have, as I call it, the plaid buff, rolling with the red and the blue as they're on top of each other, and he's able to, all the players are able to get out safe and sound. Tristana now to get to her lane, losing a little bit of experience, but it's not really going to affect her too much, as it looks like still wanting to focus into middle here, going for Annie. Dan taking a lot of damage there, and Annie almost getting another stun up. The rocket jump in from Westrice. Odd one getting caught a little bit out of place. The ignite will not take him down. He has a good amount of health there. However, down to 100 health on that one. He still has red buff, but it looks like he's going to have to waste a little time on that as he blue pills back to base.
That was also not such a bad move from Annie, from Tristana going mid, because she wants the lane to be less pushed, and this is one way of doing it. She did lose some farm, some experience, but now her lane is pushing in the right direction for her, and that means it's now opening itself up to ganks. Obviously, Yeah, you don't really want to gank Jarvan. He can just flag toss out of there, and he's gonna be fine for the most part. But we have seen how amazingly strong those Jarvan laners are, and you know, I am a child of the EU meta, and I see Jarvan on lane. I say, really? Not a jungle Jarvan? That's just strange to me. Maybe setting up for something here, bot lane, especially in the bushes. He does have his flash up.
Yes.
So if Dyrus and double lift come out to a bad position, he could punish them for it. Dyrus heading out a little bit, but not quite far enough there. I'm not sure if they know that he's there. I'm not sure if they can
Chaox is farming his minions, but he could definitely pull down a little bit, go towards the bush, and I think that would draw Dyrus and double lift out a little bit more. There's the clairvoyance down from Janna, making sure that X Special was not in the bush. Looks like they are able to back up, and Dyrus will take a chance to double up on that and do a good amount of damage, about 250 to 300 HP off of X Special. He'll be able to E that back up to himself. His E is that heal. There's a few of it right there. And recent updates to Alistar actually causes him to trample every time he goes into a skill. So that's going to add a little bit more damage if you're really pulverizing and right in the middle of a fight. A very cool effect that was added to him recently.
It was added mostly to make him viable in farm, because before that he was the worst farmer in the game. And it's just true. Worse than Soraka when she has a star call and everything. But yeah, he is not going to use it on minions. As you can see, he's playing a nice European support, sitting at 0 creep kills here. This is exactly what you want to see. Giving all this gold to Corki, who is just, I mean, Corki is, like we said many times, the best farmer in the game. He is just going to spiral out of control. Get that Trinity Force or that Mana Mune on him. That is just going to be so powerful. Nunu coming in top while Restrice goes home to buy. Let's see what he's going to buy for himself. And yeah, double Doran's plates.
Ooh.
That makes it. Oh, I missed
down the bottom. Yes, indeed. Reginald has drawn first blood onto Janna. Apologize for the missed attack there, and it looks like they pushed off Dyrus. He had to go back, and he has bought. He went to buy more Doran's blades, and the first blood will come out in the hands of Reginald. Not somebody you want to get that first blood. You do not want Annie to be any more bursty than she already is in the beginning of the game. She was waiting with that stun up. You can see that ring around her waist as it shines, and that means that her passive is every 4 skills she's going to pop up that stun, and she's going to be able to use it. Dyrus, or Salsi rather, was going to go down bottom, but it looks like she's going to go back to middle, contain, gather up his XP, and that is a very early tower at 8 minutes and 30 seconds for TSM.
TSM taking an early lead here in this game. What I want to say about Annie, she definitely teleported into that ward. Teleport is on cooldown right now. So that was maybe TSM learning a little lesson from AAA. Well, they obviously know about teleport ganks as well, but we have seen
a lot of harass from Westrice up top.
Oh yeah. That, well, it's still Jarvan, you know, he's still going to be safe, We have seen AAA run a couple of really amazing teleport ganks this tournament, and that puts TSM in the advantage though by more than 1,000 gold already.
It looks like Westrice throwing down some wards. He does have the red for his team. A very nice job there. You know, Nunu going around the jungle is one of those characters that can donate the buffs, you know, as much as he wants to. He doesn't really need him that much. He can continue to go through the jungle. It looks like Alistar, Special pushing in here. He does find one. He dodges the null zone going down. He will not get silenced, but he does get suppressed here by Salsi. Will they be able to take down Special? He's going to get the pulverize up, and he comes around, puts herself in the bush to block the vision, and they may be able to get this dropping Timbers on a double lift, and he will be able to take him down. Another Q coming out of the hands of Reginald. Salsi looks like he will fall, flashing away. He has no mana to help himself. Maybe get a silence down to assist his team in this fight. Dan also expending the flash, and it looks like they will be silenced right there to kind of slow down this team fight and recuperate on what just happened. They did lose Janna. She will not be able to heal. She is level 5 anyway, so she was just trying to get herself out of there. Double lift that is, not she, he in this case, and he will be back into the game now to assist his team. We are at a 2-0 in favor of TSM there, and a very nice move by Annie to read what Special was doing and instantly follow him down.
And as we just saw there, as I double-clicked on Annie's portrait, he did, Reginald did, level that Q over everything else. Q is at 4 here. I was told on the forums to check that a little bit more often. Obviously, the shield, not the best spell in the game for Annie, so she's going to level her Q and her W. And that Q, that's putting out a lot of damage. We nerfed the base damage recently, but it's still really powerful. On Malza, I expect an E probably leveled up highest. Yes, there you see that's Malefic Visions. That's a very, very strong harass spell. And oh, Epik is setting up for Dragon. That could get them back into the game. TSM sees Salsi here. Salsi available for
Oh,
kill.
wow.
Ghost again. Wow, Chaos going over the wall. Salsi exhausted and surely going down here. Yes, very nice. And that is the. They're still going for Dragon though. Wow, and no, they did not see the Dragon, but Nunu goes down, and that was not worth it. Wow, Westrise fails to jump over. Doesn't manage to jump, fails to flash over, I was going to say. But that means that now TSM can probably take the blue. Reginald still looking for a fight. Wow. Aggressive Reggie is still aggressive.
He did have Tibbers and he could have dropped that there, but I don't believe that was his pyroclasm was up. He was not able to get the stun on that one. So it looks like they will just make their way out of there, giving that to Warwick actually. And we'll see how Odwin uses that to continue around his jungle. Let me get my Fog of War back to normal. There it is, seeing both teams, and Xpecial will start to back right there. We have Dyrus and Salsi in mid. It looks like Salsi pushing up quite hard here. He wants to get possibly a Malefic. Oh no, slowing down the lane a little bit, so his push is a tad more, and that's going to help him out. Tristana up top to clear out her minion wave and push it forward to the middle of the lane where she will want it. And we see Salsi, and now versus Rain Man is the top lane is free for Tristana to farm. And he has now gone down bottom. Reginald is going to back using his recall. And it looks like Nunu just making his way around the jungle with Blood Boil, doing what he can. He has a free spell up around again. That spell around the waist usually means a character has an ability up. And Nunu's is a free spell. Annie's is the stun. I don't really think you see it much more than that.
And Salsi out farming Tristana, Reginald on Annie here in his lane on minions, but Reggie really out farming Salsi on champions there. That is going to be a lot of gold. Each champion kill is worth about 10 CS, 10, 15, depending on how much gold the champion is worth at that time. Interesting choice on the Nunu to go for the dodge. Wow, he jumps in with the argument.
Oh, Reginald, very nice job.
Nice pick up there. I was going to say, of course you don't want to ulti Tristana, she just jumps out, but yeah, there's an Annie waiting on the other side, and that's not going to end well.
That was a very nice job. Doublelift being all over the map, and he's doing a very good job of trying to support his team, but his stuns, the pop-up is just a few seconds away every time. He almost got it down in mid, or near the dragon. Wasn't able to help. We have a lot of action going down in mid. Xpecial taking a good amount of damage. Malefic Visions is on, and he's also taking that bleed from Dyrus. It looks like Kaox will come in and Valkyrie in to stop this minion wave from pushing forward. A lot of damage coming out from the Gatling will just shred through these minions, and he will be able to push it back as Malefic Visions trying to do the same thing, vice versa, for Malzahar as he wants to keep that lane there. He likes the attention that that turret is giving the minions as they come in and not allowing that mid lane to farm. However, Reginald is all over the place getting kills that he needs, so he really doesn't have to worry about farming creep score in mid right now. He's just able to get all the money from the kills, and all the more better because that just makes the momentum of your team build that much more.
Absolutely. He is going to probably save money now and go straight for the death cap. South needs to be careful here. Reggie can probably... Nah, he cannot burst him down. He does have 2 Doran's rings on that Mazahar as well. Xpecial, again, with very aggressive positioning, but he can afford it right now. 5-0 for TSM. Almost 4,000 gold advantage. It's not looking good for Epik, even though I'm rooting for them. I'm not rooting hard enough for them, and I think the problem is that Doublelift did not get his Blitzcrank. That's what I'm saying here. That's the problem.
It's like the flag toss going down up top. Not too much going to come from that. Just trying to do some damage to Westrice right now and back him off of this lane. Rainman actually has it where he wants. He's not really doing much, but going for the last hits at this point. And it looks like he's going to, get that one, understanding where the minions were going down. We see Annie now walking into the jungle. Yes. Reggie is trying to go for something here as Tristana's backing up, but I believe she's going to go up. And Reggie's proccing his spells here so he can get that stun up. Do they know that he is there? The clairvoyant's possibly a down. Will he be able to drop Tibbers? And he does, but they both jump out of it, a flash out. And a very nice job from the hands of Dan Din, and the rocket jump coming out of the hands of Tristana as Westrice, and they're able to avoid that fight right there. Jarvan could have made it there in time, but I think it would have been a little too late anyways. A valiant attempt by both. We now have a 3v2 in mid as they begin to push this tower. Epik now has Tristana and Doublelift, that's Westrice and Doublelift coming in to congregate in mid and help them out a little bit. We see the odd one now just trying to take these down. We're going to take a good amount of damage on this turret as Kaox is not being pushed around, and he's just standing back there.
Annie almost beating the forest, almost. Oh, especially going in for the rise. Flash, Annie coming in from behind. Does she have a stun up? She does not yet have a stun up. Oh, that damage is enough. Death is the best stun in the game, it's a fact. And Salsi barely pushing him back from his turret as Westrise arrives just a little bit too late. The Rainman changes his mind about going mid. No, he doesn't. They could probably push this right now with Salsi being so low and Jana being down, but they choose not to and allow Epik to push. While, oh yeah, they had to back. Okay, they were a little low there. Great job once again from Reginald, who's now at 303. Probably gonna carry again, and when are we gonna see the first Annie ban this tournament?
You know, I don't know. It's just that burst that can initiate such a big fight from such a long range, and then she can continue to do damage, and in just a few more cooldowns, initiate another stun that she can use, and she's just such an effective character to have. She can also build somewhat tanky, and usually doesn't take that much damage right off the bat. She does have that shield she can use, which reflects a little bit of the damage as well. So all around, an amazing abilities on Annie, and is definitely should be one of those focused characters, as you said. But when will we see the ban? Will they allow Reginald to continue to play like this?
Because currently, as we just saw with the blue buff, Annie having a 5-second cooldown on both of her abilities, and they both scale really aggressively since the recent changes made to her. That just means that, oh, and Tristana going in there super aggressive against Reggie, but Reggie doesn't take any damage from it, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll kill you before you kill me. That was just enough damage there. Wow, that was a showcase in knowing exactly how much your character can take. I was worried there. If I had been at Annie, I would probably have run and died. Dragon going down currently for TSM. Epik are getting in position now to steal it. Oh, they get a little bit of it.
Wow.
Oh god, that damage. Yeah, just not enough. That definitely didn't channel for long enough at all. TSM in a commanding lead now, 80-0 kills, 23 to 18k gold. Wow.
Special taking a lot of damage from that null zone, and a very nice silence from the hands of Malzahar. Salsi doing what he can to prevent these four in middle from really taking his turret. You're going to be able to wipe through these minions quite quickly. They have a minion wave behind them, and it looks like this mid turret will go down unless Malzahar can avoid, or can actually throw down that null zone, doing a very nice job there, but can keep them off with the silence if they get any closer. And it looks like you just use it right there. You're going to be able to clear up that minion wave and actually save the turret. Both mid turrets are extremely low right now, and Jarvan up top farming himself away, trying to get that creep score up. He has actually bought an Oracle's quite early in the game, maybe feeling he can do the damage he needs right now. TSM very strong in the game, knowing that Epik is going to be down in money, so if they do place any wards and try to gain ground, they're just going to shut that down.
Absolutely. And TSM debating whether they want to go home or stay and defend this turret. Indecision is always a problem in a game, just like as it is in casting. If you don't know what you're doing, you are wasting time. You're going back and forth, back and forth. You need to commit to one course of action, and the course of action seems to be 100% aggression.
Oh wow, Annie dropping timbers right onto Salsi. Salsi goes down onto the turret, or right under the turret, I should say, and this turret will go down. Westrice kind of just thinking it out. I have Blood Boil, I want to do something here, but it looks like they're going to stick together with Nunu. Dan Din right next to that turret as well. Another kill as Salsi is put back down into the graveyard, and he will be back in 20 seconds to help his team out. 3 in middle now to defend that turret. It looks like they will back up. Dragon should be up in the next 4 minutes, so they'll be able to make their way to that. And it looks like they are going to again give red buff to Tristana, or
be a death cap. Yes.
MF here.
Death cap for Annie. Yeah, that is probably not something that Epik can come back from.
Right.
So that's a 19-minute death cap. That is really, really, really fast. And on top of that, he has level 2 boots and 3 Duran's rings. So I'm saying round 1 probably going to Andy.
Yeah. Yeah, TSM looking very strong in this matchup. Their blue buff is up, and I think they should go for that as well right now. Annie does see that she is kind of walking by it, but there may be, she's kind of considering, there may be somewhat of a team fight here, but she is going to go for that blue buff and grab it, as it looks like it's special. And there's the odd one to help her out there and give her a little bit more damage. She is going to try to get that stun up on her so she can walk around with that. Yep. Getting it, not getting the stun, but that's all right. Still going to be the same. She's only going to have to use, I believe, one more spell to go into that and see what she has on her right now. And it looks like, yeah, she only needs a few more. As they move to top lane, that turret is already gone. It is 3-0 in the turret game right now in favor of TSM. They've been doing a great job. 9-0 in the kill game at 20 minutes into this, and you just said Annie grabbing that death cap. She is 5-0-3 with 107 creep score. Corky leading the game with 149. That is Chaos, and his team right now doing very well as they start to roam around the jungle, or rat pack as I say, together. Power in numbers here in the river, and it looks like TSM will really wait for a mistake from Epik right now.
And, well, I don't believe they need to wait for a mistake. They're currently waiting out the lanes. They're going to probably push the lanes, see if they can take another turret safely, and at some point just force the Baron fight. And that's... Epik cannot give them a Baron on top of all of this. And right now, Epik really needs to hope for a mistake from TSM, actually. They're splitting up right now. Don't think Epik has the damage to force a Baron fight. That would be one option, but Annie's like, I'm going to go and farm those minions. There's nothing's happening at the moment. Epik wanted to, they could go and force the Baron now, but Annie still has the teleport, and it's almost up, very, very nearly up there.
Oh,
so,
wow, the whole entire team moving towards Annie right now. You saw the pings going down, starting to invade the jungle. It's going to be all four, and Malzahar following actually quite far behind, and the initiation early could hurt if the rest of SoloMid is able to get down there in time. Annie's staying very pushed out. It looks like they're going to dive right onto the tower for this.
And she has no idea this is coming. She needs to go to bushes, teleport out very, very quickly. What is she doing down there? The entire team is missing. And they may be setting up for Baron, actually. Let's have a look at... Oh, they're going back. The Baron threat. As we were watching there from Annie's point of view, she didn't know what was happening, but she believed herself safe under the tower. And yeah, Epik didn't go for it. I believe that was a mistake. They could have killed her. They would have lost Baron, but at this point, shutting down Annie may actually be worth it.
Yeah, that's going to be a good amount of gold for them. She's going to be worth at least like 555 or plus gold at this point in time with 5 kills under her belt. Looks like we're going to have some blue pills. They're going to get back and get some more items. We'll see what MF gets. Probably possibly a BF sword here, as she does have Zeals. She has just sold an item, and there it is. Yes, grabbing the BF sword. So that Zeal proc with a little bit of crit. She has a lot of movement speed, especially with Strut. If she's out of battle for a certain amount of time, MF can just fly across the map and really start to assist the team. Top turret is going down here. Great lane control by TSM right now. All their lanes are pretty pushed. They have all their turrets still standing. And Annie still to go down bottom and continue that split push.
Yeah. And Annie not the quickest split pusher in the game, but at this point she could probably wipe her minion wave with her E. And yeah, she is going to push there.
Damn.
And they need to decide what to do here. Yeah, exactly. There it is. They really need to decide what to do here. Split push is always an ugly situation, but the odd one actually porting back, Jungle King, he is, well, that means they're not going to commit to a split push. And TSM currently, I would like to see a little bit more decisive play from them, but you know, to be honest, well, like I said, it's the question of, are we going to go home with $7,000 or are we going to have a shot at 50K? And you know, I'd probably play it safe as well, to be fair.
I actually think TSM is very comfortable with their play right now. They are causing Epik to not really have a lane to go to, really giving them the run around. They go to top, they lost a turret, they don't get any advantage from that, they didn't get any kills, they're really not able to farm. You can see that minion wave is still just battling it out right next to that turret as Andy was able to split them up. Now they're in mid, and it looks like we have a forced fight here. Dan Din going to be the first one to go in and initiate. Salsi probably trying to do as much damage as he can, but he's quite far off on the battle, and we're going to have to see the Q or the Ice Blast coming out at the odd one. A lot of damage coming out, huge damage onto Dyrus. Will he go down? Standing in the ultimate, a double lift, able to take a little bit more damage. Tristana also falls. TSM just absolutely thwarting what Epik thought they could do into that fight. The Clairvoyant's going down as they flash over the wall. Dan Din also falling to the ground. Salsi the next target, or they will see double lift. A nice silence coming out there, but it did miss Jarvan. They are kind of split up in who they are targeting at this point in time. Does KX have the Valkyrie to get around? A miss and a very nice pop-up. They have Salsi in a 2v1 situation. Here comes the odd one, going out for the quick steal, and it looks like they're going to be able to take him down as he throws down the null zone to do it. He can before he goes down. TSM on the ace as we are 25 minutes into the matchup.
Annie actually died. Reginald playing super aggressive, flashing over the Dragon Wall here, and well, they punished him for it. So that was a bit of gold, but if you look at it, more than 10k gold ahead right now. That's not something you can easily come back from. And well, Epik are all back at this point, so it's not going to be a free Baron from TSM on top of it, but they really don't need that anymore. Annie is sitting at 323 AP. That's just, yeah, she is going to be able to not just initiate a fight, but also decide it. If that tipper sits more than 2 or 3 people, that's going to be the fight right there. That's going to be so much damage. Then Epik don't really have those sustaining characters. They just have that Nunu in their team, and then the dual AD, which really isn't working for them.
So TSM now getting a nice clairvoyance down near the Wraiths of Epik, knowing that their red buff is down. They're kind of walking through their jungle and now forced to only farm in that situation. As I said, you know, a good rule of thumb, not to cross the river alone. When you lose that turret next to the river, that becomes an even wider zone that you have to stay back and play very careful.
Yes.
And right now, you know, Epik is in the extreme caution zone. They have to be very careful when farming at any point in the map right now. And it looks like we could have a Baron go for here. The clairvoyance is down. They do not see any wards. They do. I don't believe they have an Oracles. Yes, Jarvan still has one. He did not go down. And we will see this Baron going in favor of TSM. Salsi going for the silence. He will put that on Reginald, and he will see that they have grabbed the Baron. It's going to be a defensive setup now for Epik as they look to initiate this fight. Possibly they're waiting for the to come over the wall. There it is. Headbutt over the wall. Will they get the pulverize down? Dan Din absolutely going down before the Absolute Zero can proc the full channel. And we are going to see the suppression onto Salsi. He is separated from his team by the odd one playing Warwick. And it's going to be a runaround right now as TSM continues to find people to take down. The suppression onto the odd one. Tristana trying to do the damage as he can, but an absolute wipe coming out of the hands of Reginald. Baron just being way too much for Epik to handle at this point in time. A very good job by both teams, but it was just really in the favor. Epik able to keep two alive. They were trying to do what they could to focus. The odd one doing a beautiful job of focusing out Salsi on that one and making sure that he could not suppress anybody within the fight. And it looks like they will be able to go for their first inhibitor turret here. Minion wave is actually far behind. No, it's right there, just kind of hanging out. And they're going to go ahead and face tank this one right off the bat, knowing they have the minions behind them. That's going to help them take out the inhibitor. They will start to spawn some super minions. Reginald doing good damage, kind of standing off to the side, not within the bunch. He doesn't want to get AoE by anything in this situation. Not that there is too much that can hit him.
Yeah, but did you see that AoE, that misfortune ulti in that combat in the last fight? Corki got hit by maybe 3 or 4 procs and he didn't lose any health. But that was the tamest misfortune ulti I've ever seen. That just wasn't scary at all, and that is the problem that Team Epik have right now. They have nothing that's scary. They have nothing that can put out that damage where TSM have to say, oh, we have to play cautiously and not get initiated on by that guy. It's like, no, it doesn't really matter who initiates on us. We're going to be fine. You
got to be very careful with how you build a character, especially crit. If you build critical and you don't have any damage, you're not going to be able to crit for any damage. You're going to get regular crits that only do about 10 or 20 more damage. Misfortune also being able to double up and get a little bit of crit off of that. So if you build a lot of damage ahead of time, focus your shots. Yes, you have to wait on your cooldowns, but right now she is running that blue, so that is going to help her be very effective in the fight to utilize her slow and that Q to double up onto the creatures and right off into the enemies if they can get it right onto one of them, and that crit is going to hurt a lot. You can see the flash over the wall, and a Tibbers coming out here. Have you found my bear Tibbers? And he might come out, oh, suppressed through the wall, taking a lot of damage through the nose zone. Salsi goes down. However, Reginald was not able to drop Tibbers, but they are still able to come out with a fight. So, you know, it's not needed that Reginald needs to be in the fight, and that is even worse for Epik right now, because if the 4 members of that team can continue to push a turret, Epik really needs to change up the strategy right now and figure out who needs to be the front line of defense and where to put Tristana to really come out with the damage. You know, Dan doing a very good job of helping to blood boil onto West Rice, but it's just not enough damage that they're looking for, as well as Misfortune. She does not have her Infinity Edge yet. The Jarvan ulti coming down, and it looks like they will have a pretty good fight here. West Rice making it out alive. He does have a bleed down on him. Will he take enough damage? He has the Ignite on him, and he will not go down, just living with a sliver of health, and it looks like they will be able to take out their second inhibitor turret and their second inhibitor, spawning super minions through 2 lanes now. It is a 4v or 5v4 situation in favor of TSM if they continue to stay in the base of Epik at this point. And it looks like they will choose to back. They have a pretty good minion wave very close to that turret. And that's going to be another amount of global gold for them. 45,000 gold 46 to 30,000 gold. 16,000 gold advantage right now in the hands of TSM. A 19-1 game on Epik, and they really early game outplayed them. That's not something that, you know, Epik needed right there, obviously, but it looks like it's going to play throughout the game, and they will not be able to turn this one around.
Just want to point out during this fight here, Annie did not even use a single one of her cooldowns. Nothing. No. She did nothing in the fight. They still wiped them super easy. Corki putting out a lot of damage there by himself, and the Rain Man with the 2 hearts of gold, Banshee's Veil, and the Atlas Impaler at 210 attack damage here right now. Crits are gonna hurt with that. So yeah, they have enough DPS right there. No problem at all, even without any. And then any, the 617 any, wow, with Void Staff, Red Death Cap, and another needlessly large rod.
Yep, we can see the gold per 10 items really coming into play on TSM side. And we've seen this before, where you're kind of like, where is it coming from? 2 hearts of gold on Jarvan, 2 hearts of gold on Alistar. Nunu trying to do the same thing, that is Dan Din. But, you know, it's just not enough at this point. This is the part of the game where they're choked into their base. They cannot control the jungle. The mentality game comes into play, and it's almost that point where you're like, all right, we're going to stay in our base. We'll do what we can. If the win comes out, that's amazing. We can get it. But let's start thinking about next game. What do we need to do? Who do we need to ban? And is it going to be an Annie?
I would not be surprised right now, but the thing is, you ban Annie, you leave open Vladimir. Do you want to do that against Reggie?
Again, the Blood Mage.
Yeah, or you're going to leave open maybe a Malta for Reggie. He's very good at that as well.
True.
There's a lot he can play.
Looks like we have a bottom lane push here coming out of the hands of TSM. They will gather with all 5 members of their team. They have a minion wave right there. Do they choose to force the fight on this turret? Dyrus, or Kaox doing a lot of damage onto Dyrus. It was just 1 ulti. There's the second one, taking a little bit over a quarter of his health away with just 2 of the ultis. Getting in there with the Gatling will be able to shred that armor of Misfortune. Not that she has too much. And it looks like tanking going on by Jarvan right here. He's going to take a few shots as they try to get a tick onto the turret, and they did do a bit of damage. These turrets will not reheal. Only the Nexus turrets will be able to do that. And as this next minion wave comes up right behind him, the Absolute Zero coming in from Dan Din, and it looks like he was pushed away. A very nice ultimate coming out of the hands of Trist, able to get that out of there as Reginald moves in. A lot of damage going down. Special goes down. It looks like Double Lift and Dyrus have also fallen in this fight, and Special is the only one that has fallen for TSM as they now control the base of Epik. Nunu, the only one. Dan Din actually being able to stay alive in that fight as he was pushed out of it initially, and we will see what they can do here as the first Nexus turret goes down. And Reginald almost face tanking that turret to death. Will they be able to get this one? It looks like the Warwick was on that second one, and here we go for the Nexus, and we are going to have your first game in favor of TSM.
GG indeed. Yes, that reminded me a little bit of the first game of Fnatic vs AAA. It was one-sided, I have to just say it. But remember what happened in the second game? AAA almost turned it around. Dominated that game. So this is not over. This is a best of 3. So if Epik win the next 2 games, they are going to move on. Whoever moves on from this one is going to face AAA in the lower brackets finals. And if they defeat AAA, they're going to go on to the grand finals to face probably the most intimidating team in this tournament, Fnatic.
You would say that.
I like
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Fnatic playing very well, but right now this team, Epik versus TSM, the brotherly love going down, and it really seems, you know, Dan Din could be a little shaken up about that. He did say it yesterday. He really doesn't want to play against his brother, and he does feel that they have the advantage with the amount that they play together, the amount that each other know their strats, and really Reginald's mentality about the game is just so much more meta, so much more about what's going on and how to solve that situation in the long run, as well as prevent it from happening. Very proactive thinking by Reginald, and it's really able to pull them out on top in that game of seconds. That game of League of Legends here at the Season 1 Championship. We're in Jönköping, Sweden. A lot of viewers going down. A big props to PaySafeCard for throwing up an HD stream, which looks like this. And Alienware for providing the laptops with. Been working great all weekend long. A little bit of a battery issue, not even hardware, so it's just the things that are kind of nipping you in the butt when you're not you're least expecting it. The games are going well and strong right now. Steel Series for providing some of the peripherals to help these guys out, and on the mouse pads. So we have this next game coming up, as we will get the picks and bans going soon. The teams are obviously going to go talk. We're going to have a quick interview as that gets down in the tournament area when they are ready for that, and the teams are done discussing what was going on. And like you said, just like that last game we saw, and AAA was feeling the same pain that Epik is feeling now.
Absolutely. And if we have a little time before the interviews, I'd like to cut to the score screen real quick and point something out that some people at home may not be expecting, because there's something very pretty here in the build that I'm just going to say it. I don't know if we're going to have the time to cut over or not, but there's a melody on the Warwick. Warwick actually built a melody. That's how good this game was going. So Malady is not an entirely wasted item on him, but it's like, yeah, I'm going to build a aggressive Warwick because I don't need to tank anything. So the best build that you can run on a Warwick in any random game is just off-tank Warwick. People don't believe me when I say that, but I am now on TV saying it. That makes it true. Off-tank Warwick. And before I bore you with my Warwick builds, we're just going to cut over the interview right now.
Let's head to the tournament.
Hello, Carrie Bear here again. I'm here with Chaox from TSM. So we just watched them match up against Team Epik. They did a great job. You know, you guys had a really great, you know, match strategy. You guys going in pretty aggressive. Was that your plan all along?
Well, the ante with teleport is mainly picked up from AAA because they ran the Malzahar with teleport, and we're like, well, it's really good. And the Corki first pick, well, we know Westrice really likes the Corki, and they ended up picking Tristana, which they almost never run against us in scrims because we scrim a lot against each other. So we had to like do something new and fresh to try and catch them off guard.
Was there anything else that they picked that might have, you know, surprised you guys, or was it pretty expected?
Everything else was very expected, other than the Tristana pick, which did not work out.
Great, and you know, was there anything they could have done differently? Obviously, the game went extremely in your favor. You know, what could have Epik done to maybe turn the tide a little bit?
I don't know. It was so one-sided. There's a lot of things that went wrong that that's too much to list.
All right, great. So I'll let you guys get ready for your next match. Thank you very much, and back over to you guys.